Hello, John S Sports Channel, and it's Senior Runner here. I did a video because people actually wanted to know, did I do fell running? And the answer is yes, not a lot, and it really is not a lot, but I enjoy it, and I wanted to do a video, so I did a video on shoes, and more I looked at it afterwards, I thought, I'm not really getting or everybody. I'm just getting the ones that are trying to start in this and trying to push their way into the thought of, shall I do fell running? What sort of shoes would I need if I wanted to do fell? Is it any different from my general run-of-the-mill half marathon shoes or 5k shoes? And I thought it was a good thing to do. However, I wanted to just expand that a little bit. Because what I was thinking is, everybody who's looking at that are actually thinking, okay, but why should I actually be thinking about doing fell running in the first place? And it's a really important point, really is, because there are several different things that we need to think about. The first thing I want to talk about, do wait until the end. You really do need to watch the whole video. I'm sorry, really am, but unfortunately you do. You see, the first thing is, what do you do when you're in a 5k or a 10k? You're running along and you're not thinking about the other people, because most people, especially if you're starting this, you're not going to be thinking, I'm going to be on the podium. In fact, you're not going to be in the front 10-25% probably. So you're thinking, I need to improve my fitness, I need to improve my time. What was my last time in this 5k? What is my last time in the 10k? Wasn't this one going to be? Where am I targeting it? And you're running against yourself. And this is an important point, because you even do that if you're in a half marathon, and you even do that if you're in a marathon. So what's the difference in a fell run? Well, there's two really big points I want to get out first. One is the camaraderie. I always find the camaraderie in fell running is absolutely phenomenal. It's second to none. You can stand and walk around and talk to people before the run, and they're all as buzzed as you are, and they're all talking to each other even if they don't know you. And it's oh yeah, do remember when you do that, you need to get over that stile a bit further to the left, because there's usually a bogland to the right, so you need to sort of veer around to the left a bit and go. The knowledge and the information, the camaraderie is helping people through. That's the idea within fell running. It's how many people can we help through? How many people are looking a little bit worried about this? Let's cheer them up. Let's say, it's actually not so bad. Which bit are you worried about? And people help you through. You don't really get that in as much in the other races. You do get it in the half marathon, and you do get it in the marathon, but not to the extent you get in the fell running. I always found the camaraderie a hell of a lot more impressive, and that's one of the two things that I really wanted to get in there really from the start. So what's the other thing? Well, it's going back to this idea that in the 5k, in the 10k, in the half marathon, and even in the marathon, you're really you're pacing yourself against yourself, and you don't really ever think, where am I in the field? But this camaraderie and this love for running in the fell running, it's totally different. I did this myself when I remember the first fell run I did. It's over tens of miles, and you're literally counting. I've just passed somebody. Yes, that's one more past. And then you're thinking, I lost one. I've gained two. And you're constantly thinking about where you are. Not particularly. You probably lose where you are exactly, but you're constantly trying to make sure you push past more than you lose. Yes, you're thinking about where you are in the race. It's insane. You shouldn't be doing it. You're thinking about time, surely to God. But no, you're not, because it's over such a long time. quite often these are, quite often they're over a long distance, a long time, and they're really rugged terrains, boglands, jumping over streams, and you're thinking, you surely should be thinking about time. Well, you're not, because they're so long. You drift into thinking, no, I just want to stay with that person in front of you. I don't want to lose too many places, because I've put myself right where I think we need to be in this. Started off at the right pace, and it's you always start off at a pace, absolutely, and you always start off trying to keep that pace that you've tried to plan throughout the whole fell run. However, you can guarantee it, you will stop and you'll start thinking, oh, I can't lose too many. I've already had 16 people pass. Let's just try and keep with them. And it's that drags you through. Believe it or not, having that impetus, that desire to make sure you don't lose one more place. So we've lost too many already. Let's just, we're doing really well. We've passed more than we've been passed by. This is really good. Can we keep it up? Can we pass another one? It really does drive you on. And at the end, you don't just, people who do fell running don't just look at what the time was. They look at the time was and they think, last time we did this run, took me absolute hours. But something, I actually finished, 50 places further back, and this time I've finished, 50 places further. I'm really impressed at that. I managed to keep ahead of more people, and it's a really odd thing. I always found that camaraderie sort of drove it almost drives your desire to, like, these people I'm talking to, they all think they're really, come on, we can do this, they say we can do it. They've driven me up saying I can do it. Really down. I didn't think I'd get past that halfway point, but I now think I can. In fact, I might be able to just get past more people than I let go past me, and all of a sudden you feel like this. You feel really excited about it, and you're not just doing it for time. Fell running, if you're thinking about doing it, it's an amazing animal. It's totally different. You don't just run it for time. You're running it for time, yes, absolutely, because you need to know how fit you are, and you're going to measure that by how quick you went over that same route last time and how quick you did that similar route, so it usually changes this time. And it's great fun because you've got more things to think about, not just that darn pace meter on your watch. The other thing that I wanted to add to this is the scenery. Obviously, you have to include the scenery, don't you? Now, even if you do off-road, off-road marathons, what do we think? Please comment down below. The ones that are watching this, you're looking at this for a reason, probably because you're thinking, shall I go and do a fell run? Is it really madness, or should I do it? If you've been doing a half marathon or a marathon and you've been thinking, well, I did an off-road one, is that similar to fell running? Well, yes and no. Obviously, fell running has styles, it has streams to run across. You're not going to get that in a half marathon or even in a marathon. So it's a little bit more sedate and planned, the half marathon and the marathon. However, the original course would have been from the war that had been won, or the battle that had been won, all the way back to where he was announcing that the battle had been won. And it probably wasn't over nice paths and nice roads and hard grass at the best. So fell running is different. It's they usually had a bogland somewhere. They usually had a stream somewhere. You're gonna get wet, whether you like it or not. You will get wet. The difference is that you usually have such amazing views. They're usually nearly always encompassing fells. Nice open land and streams and green grass, and just running through that fresh air and run through it, take in the views as you're running, and actually this is where the first idea comes in. So you're running and taking in all the fresh air and all the views and thinking, this is a brilliant course to run. Isn't this absolutely astounding? And because you're running like that, you're not thinking about it. I forget the time. I'm just enjoying the view. And it's easier when you start to think not about the time and what your pace is. You start thinking, the only thing that you can think about is, oh, he's just passed me. Right? Oh, didn't I pass him back there? And you start to sort of like, just remember the view and oh, that person who's just passed me. You're not thinking about time, but you're thinking about the people who passed you and the people who you're passing. And you sort of just, because you're over such a distance, you sort of bring it in. So that the view and the first point that I made, or first pair of points that I made, are really important because they sort of match each other. It's the view that gets you, so enamoured about where you're running, and not bothered about time, because if you were bothered about time, you'd miss everything that you're looking at. So if you're thinking of doing it and you're thinking, yeah, I love the idea of we are going to look at time if we've done that roughly the same fell run before. Absolutely, but also looking at people and seeing where we are might be a bit more of a challenge, isn't it? And then think about the view and think, well, actually, you might not even be. You can actually get rid of one of those first two. You can get rid of the pace straight away. I would get rid of the pace and think, judge it on where you are age-wise in your age group in that particular fell run. That's a great place to do it, because I think it's more of a general look at what you did on the day rather than say, oh, I did 2 hours and 36 seconds slower or whatever. It's just so much more relaxing, and I would say that doing it that way is more relaxing. It gives you more time to look at what you're running through. So yes, do it. I absolutely would. I'm convinced it's probably one of the best decisions you'll make. Choose a nice run and get out there and do it. Try not to make it too much of a tough course, because if you're going out for the first, if it's your first one or if it's your second one, you might want to just pull back on the hardness of this and just think, well, this is a good. They usually say this is a good one for beginners. Try a couple of beginners ones. Try a couple of them just to bring yourself into it. Don't be afraid of the length. Absolutely, don't be afraid of the length, because you shouldn't be pushing yourself by pace. So you shouldn't be pushing yourself so hard that you end up thinking, oh God, I'm going to have a 20-minute break, and if you have that 20-minute break, I'm going to be caught by the sweeper, and I'm going to have to give in. Don't think about that. Just go out there, enjoy it. Do it. I mean, you can do it as a run, walk, run. If that's how you soak up the atmosphere and the beautiful views. As long as you're not going to get caught by the sweeper. And just do the shortish one, easier ones. But don't be afraid of the long ones. Add a couple in, and after you've done a couple, think, fourth, fifth run in, think, let's try one of these big ones. It doesn't matter if we don't get round it. We've got a sweeper to pick us up and take us back to the start, to the finishing line. Brilliant, but you will have enjoyed what you've ran, and you will have tried it, and believe me, you will not regret having a go at it. So start small-ish. They tend not to be too small, believe me. Try small. Try some of these fell runs that are done in relay fashion. Grab 3, 4, 5, 6 friends and do the different relays on the fell run. Stop, bang, hand over, next person. try a fell running relay. It's brilliant. It's a great way of making a shorter fell run for yourself, and then you can start to increase those distances. And when you increase the distances, you tend to be running over some great lands and some great views. So remember to soak up the view. Remember, you don't have to do anything about pace. You can plan it to say, like, I'd like to do this. That's why I say pace can be part of it. But on the whole, you're really looking at the number of people passing you and the number of people you pass and thinking, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm on minus 15. That's where I would have expected. I tend to go off a little fast and then people pass me, or the opposite. I go off a bit slow and I'll sort of pick up a pace sort of halfway, hopefully, and pass one or two and get that negative figure back again. And you're just planning it based on people, and it's so much more relaxing, and it allows you to look at the views. So would I do it? Yes. Do I think it's health wise, we have to look at this last thing, don't we? The last thing is the health, because people look at fell running and think, oh yeah, so much stress on the body. You go over a stile, you go jump, bang, you land on the other side, or you squelch on the other side, land on your arse and go sliding down the hill. I did do something to somebody once on a run. I didn't mean to do it. We were running through a forest, and I thought, push this branch back. My brother-in-law's opposite, and he'll tell you, he looked back and this bloke got the full, I let go of it, and this branch just went whoosh, and all I heard was, and apparently he ended up in the ditch. I'm sorry, I didn't, to this day I don't know who it was, I really didn't mean it. Somewhere on the fells of Sheffield in the middle of nowhere. So it was great fun, and you just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. It's a great laugh. It's the camaraderie is second to none. Absolutely, soak up that beforehand. Soak it up afterwards. Don't just go home. Soak up the fun afterwards and everybody chatting, because we do. With like, how did you think about that? But do you remember going, oh my God, do you see the bog? I looked at the bog and thought, oh Jesus, I'm going to get swim through this. You're thinking, everybody's discussing it before, everybody's discussing it afterwards. You'll have great fun now, absolutely. And I wanted to do this for you guys and girls that are trying to think, men and women that are thinking of doing fell running, because it is a different kettle of fish. Because you're enjoying that run, and your health is still improving because you're getting out there, you're getting the heart running, and actually running on grass and on softer ground is better for your knees and your joints. Most of the half marathons and the marathons are run on roads and things and even if they're run on grass, it's paths on grass that are really hard, and that shock goes straight up the body. I think it's something like 1 or 2% that goes right up to the neck. There's a lot. Your muscle, your bones are really taking a hell of a lot of beating, as are your whole body. It doesn't take so much of a beating on grass, damp soil, the things that you find under your feet when you're bogland, when you're in a fell run. So actually, it's a lot healthier to do a fell run, and people might think, well, I talk a lot of rubbish. No, because you think about it, your feet aren't, on the whole, your feet aren't landing on hard ground or running on hard ground for anywhere near as much as it would be on a marathon, a full marathon. You might get the odd connecting road where you have to go from a field through a connecting road and then onto the next field. However, on the whole, it's soft, decent ground to run on, which doesn't, the ground absorbs some of the energy basically, so it's not going all the way through your body. So do try it. John Esses Sports Channel. Moreover, it's Senior Runner. Do like and subscribe. Give me your comments. If you don't like what I'm saying, I would really be interested in you actually putting a comment down below, because if you think I'm wrong and you end up being right, I'll take it down and I'll video it for you. Just give me some comments on what you think should have been added. Hopefully you like it. I hope you do. Do like, do subscribe. If you did like it, share it out. I'd love to hear from you as well. Do comment down below. Senior Runner over and out for one more running video, and it's, should I do fell running?